Okay, so we already brought out the parents and parental involvement.
Right.
We brought out the teachers,
Mm-hmm.
whether they get paid enough, how much they care. So we're gonna circle back to those. One thing that I've been placing a major focus on is the curriculum. I've been putting a major focus on the curriculum. And that's because when it comes to in terms of financial literacy and preparing kids for the world, even if you have the best teachers in our school system, if what they're teaching those kids will not fully prepare them, you got kids that go to college, take on all this debt, signing paperwork they don't understand. You
Mm-hmm.
have adults that have been through college, fully educated, and still don't know how to read basic paperwork for a mortgage or understand debt, building credit, the fundamentals and things
Mm-hmm.
that we are built on. I had a conversation with a lady earlier. She got mad at me because she thought I was saying that kids don't need math. I wasn't saying that. What I was saying is that once you get past algebra one, algebra two, if you look at the curriculum and what they offer, you all are required to take algebra one, algebra two trig to graduate. But they offer in geometry, but they offer advanced geometry, calculus, more trigonometry, algebra three. They offer probably 7 or 8 different levels of math. When you look at science, they have like 4 or 5 different levels of science. Only 2 are required: biology and something like chemistry or something else. But they offer all these other classes. You look at history, U.S. history 2, world history, U.S. government. I don't know about y'all, but history don't change unless they change it. But history don't change. So when we come through the system from kindergarten to 8th grade, we learn a lot about pretty much, the Native Americans, civil rights, slavery, all that other stuff. By the time we get to high school, it's really no point in talking about the vast majority of that stuff anymore because we know the basic stuff that we need to know. So my question is, why don't we offer more financial literacy classes? The two things that you
Mm-hmm.
are guaranteed to have to face in this world, no matter what profession you choose, whether you go to college or not, it's the two things that affect us the most: health and finances.
Yeah.
Health and finances. And when you go to high school, you only take health for what? A semester in 4 years? One semester in 4 years. You take economics, one semester in 4 years. Anything past that is an elective, like accounting, it's an elective. That's why our kids are so upside down. They know all the advanced metrics of mathematics. Every kid does not want to be an engineer. Every kid does not want to be in technology. It's good that they offer that stuff, but what classes are they offering as a foundation? Like, hey, no matter what, currency changes. Currency changes more than history.
Right.
So it's something that they need to take every year that they're in high school. Currency rates, learning the financial structure, uh, focusing on debt, focusing on credit, the different aspects of credit,
Mm-hmm.
the real estate industry, the stock, 401ks. Kids are getting jobs in high school. They don't even know W-2, W-4, filing. They don't know any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you say that they're prepared when they come out of high school and the things that they're going to face the most, they don't know? I'm going to ask both of you. I'm going to start with Gary.
All right.
Gary, in your adult life, when you've been balancing your checkbook or credit cards or anything else, when did you ever break out Algebra 3?
I haven't used none of that stuff since I got out of school, man.
Algebra 2?
As a matter of fact, I haven't used most of this stuff since middle school.
That's
If
and
I
that's
really
the
want to be
shame.
serious with it, most of the stuff I use came from middle school on down. That's it. All this stuff from high school, I ain't really need it for real.
So it's just icing
And,
on the cake.
and it might just be me personally, but I ain't really need it. I feel like high school should be getting you ready for adulthood. Like you said, finances. Uh, they don't talk about. I feel like they should talk about. They should teach you how to argue, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's something
It,
else.
They should teach you how to argue. A lot of people don't even know how.
Emotional intelligence and
A lot of
cognitive
people don't even know how to
behavior.
bring that out.
Yeah, they need
So,
those skills. A lot of kids, from my experience, especially when they go into the working world, being
mhm.
immature, even in being in college, they don't know how to handle day-to-day conflict or even understand how to deal with certain people. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
go to Xavier in your
Conflict
adult life,
resolution.
right? Conflict resolution.
Yeah.
People skills. When you go into the work industry, they give you like most of the time a 5-minute video on harassment that basically says, "Hey, don't do that. Don't say to this person. Hey, don't touch her butt. Hey, don't look at him like that. Hey, don't say gay. That's not cool." It's a 5-minute video, and then it's done. But kids are not taught how to really emotionally interact,
I,
relate feelings, and understand feelings. So, Xavier, in your adult life, between all the extra algebra and all the extra science classes that you took, and you went to college, you went to UAB, got your degree and everything. How much of that stuff that you learned in high school did you actually apply in real life? I'm not talking about applying towards your degree, but in real, everyday, practical life.
Oh man, minimal. In fact, the only thing that really applies is pretty much like basic stuff that I learned from elementary school and middle school, like basically how to addition and subtraction, and in fact, I had one elective in high school that was called money management, and that taught supposedly taught us how to use a checkbook, but I'd already learned that from within my household by me having a disabled mother. I had already learned that on my own, and just basic math skills. Um, and I was gonna say that uh, I want to say it's a reason why they're not teaching us the skills, the like financial literacy and things like that. Well, number one, the school curriculum is severely outdated. The model was actually they're using the same model they was using from the 19th century. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So they haven't changed it. Since I mean we're a whole nother millennium and they haven't updated it. It's the same thing that they were teaching like in the late 1800s. Uh, and
right.
and the and the other thing I was going to say when you was talking about financial literacy, teach us about debt. They don't want us to know about debt because the system is designed to feed a bigger system, which is based on keeping us in debt. You know,
I agree.
the
I agree.
yeah, the education system. What the education system is doing, what it's designed to do, is what it's doing it's the training wheels to make us employees. Think about it. When you start when you're in elementary school, you got to get up at 7 in the morning, go to school from 8 to 3. You have a lunch at 12. You're out by a certain time, then you go home and you take the bus. All that is teach you it's designed to get as many people in the population to be 9 to 5 workers. And the thing is as long as you're working and you're not making enough money, you're gonna keep working. And that's why I was saying they don't want us to know financial literacy because they want us to stay in debt. That's the whole reason why they preach college. I mean, you go to college, they'll give an 18-year-old $100,000 to go to school. That's the first debt right there. You come out of college, you ain't got a job, but you got $100,000 in debt.
Hold up.
Yeah,
Let me
my
say
bad.
this.
Go
No,
ahead.
you good. They will give you all this debt, and this the killing part about the financial literacy. They'll give you, let's say your class is $8,000 a semester. You know,
Uh huh.
they write you a check for 11,000. Complete overkill or whatever. They give you the difference because college kids look forward to them refund checks. So we got
Yeah.
$2,000 or $3,000 or whatever refund checks, and because we are not financially sound, we don't know what to do with it except for spend it. Like if you know anything about investing, saving it or applying it towards the next semester, or let's just say you invested, you learn about investments and you say, hey, I'm gonna take this extra money and I'm gonna invest it every semester over the next 4 years or 5 years and see where I'm at, see what I have when I graduate. And at that point, your portfolio, it probably won't pay off your debt. And I wouldn't advise, I'm just be honest. Let's say if you $3,000 a semester for 4 semesters, right? It's like $24,000. Okay. When I come out of college, if my debt is $100,000, I'm not going to give you $24,000, but I will come out of college with $24,000 worth of a head start. And if I invested that and really knew what I was doing, that could be 30, 40. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
So now you have a nice cushion coming out of college to say, hey, I didn't graduate broke. I have this nice cushion and I'm going into my profession, because this is what they also don't tell you. A lot of times your degree does not come with experience. So when you come out, you have all this debt and you're going into an entry-level position job, competing against people that don't have the education, but they have the experience. And now you have debt working at either the bottom level of your job field or not working in your job field at all. But regardless, you're going to have this debt. So why are we not, as you said, they're not teaching our kids because they don't want us to be financially literate. Because the more financially literate that we are, the worse it is for them. And we can start reaching true, what they call it, generational wealth. We can start closing that gap for real.
Right.
Not about no reparations or nothing like that, but what we can do for ourselves. That's how we really close the gap.
Right.
Our kids coming out of school just not knowing. So
And
I'm gonna go to Gary. What's your thoughts? I see you over there want to say something. What you got?
no, I was just trying to see what do you feel like would be the solution to actually fix the the education system.
Change the curriculum. We got to push for them to change the curriculum. If you look at our counterparts, not in America, but overseas in other places, the things that they teach their kids and that they push on their children, it ain't PE. I'm be real with you. When you go to high school, by the time you get in high school, you don't need to be going outside playing on the playground. Okay, it's called physical education. If you want to have a free day like Friday where you let everybody do what they want to do, that's cool. But in that class, health is a big part of our lives. Teach them physical education. Teach them how to exercise. Teach them how to eat, nutrition. Teach them about different ways of life. Pescatarian diet, being a vegan, cholesterol, how to count calories. If you go to other areas, they put so much focus on the quality of what and who you're going to be when you come out of high school. That's not to say that they don't want their children to go to college, but they understand, hey, things happen. In case you don't go to college, in case you don't make it out of college, whatever, you will still have a good foundation to be a successful human being. Most of our kids, when they come out of high school and they don't have a college and they don't have a plan, that's how they ended up going straight here, because they don't teach you this. When you come out of college with your degree, entry-level position or whatever, that only starts you maybe slightly above poverty. Lower middle class is where most entry-level positions start you at, unless you have like one of those real bomb degrees. If you only starting slightly above the poverty line or right at the lower part of middle class, it don't take that much or too many mistakes for you to be below it. And a lot of times we're only trained through the school system how to be ahead. We're not trained how to get behind and then get back ahead. And what they don't realize is when you come out of college, you're starting off from behind. You're going into a football game where your opponent already has 14 points. We've all seen it. Teams don't know how to play from behind. They only know how to play when they're ahead. We've only been taught how to be ahead.
So I got a question though. It's a difference between the black school system and white school system, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah, so you feel like it's something that teaching them different, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? Like you said it. You said it's what you said the
Curriculum.
yeah. You said that's what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to go to a white school or whatever, pretty much it'll change my outcome, right?
It won't change the outcome, but you might be better prepared to change your own outcome.
Okay, I'll go with that. So what I'm saying is, okay, why is it that it's in those schools but it's not in black schools? Why is it?
You have to
Is
look
it a
at
coach
how
thing?
black schools are run.
I'm saying, is it a culture thing?
It's a culture thing, it's a care thing. On average, when you go to certain other schools outside of our demographic and area, their parents care more. They are more active in the PTO.
Yeah.
They push more for certain things.
Yeah,
I mean,
regardless, we had to go back to that same tussle we were trying to get away from.
What you got to say?
well, hold up now. But if you're comparing, I mean, you really are comparing. It's almost like comparing apples to oranges. But
I am.
Culturally, we're talking about our counterparts. Culturally, they're more systematic than us. See, they believe in the system, and like you said, their parents care more. I mean, they have predominantly more two-parent households or whatever, but they believe more in the system because the current system that we're in, was designed to cater to their communities. So I mean, if we want to go to that, and I mean, and that was the other thing I was going to say about the systematic design. The other thing you were saying, what do they have? I mean, again, go back to what I said. They have more resources. I mean, they have more. It's funny, like you were saying, how we playing from behind. We come out of college, it's almost like going to a football game and they're 2 scores up. Well, I would say if we're talking about those communities, shoot, they still got a 400-year head start on us. So they got, what resources do they have? Tell me what's the difference? What's the difference between going to Inslee and going to Hoover or going to Vestavia?
I know the resources that they have. I want you to tell the people what the resources that they have.
What resources that they have?
Power. Money. Power.
Man, they got money, municipality. They got, oh gosh, man, what don't they have?
Ownership.
You have to cultivate the environment. You have to cultivate the environment for success. So the thing is, whether people realize it or not, everything plays a role, like in making our neighborhoods safe, making our environments welcome. When you make the neighborhood safe, you make the environments welcome, then people want to do business there. And when they want to do business there, the money flows. But we also know that they funnel money. They don't always allocate money the way that they need to. The thing is, we know all this stuff, and we still put the car on autopilot. Man. We gonna have to start donating more money from ourselves directly.
It ain't the money.
Forget giving it. Forget giving it to the government.
What is it? What is it, Gary?
We're gonna say this right here, right? We can go to that same school and go look at the kids in that white school. Go look at the kids and go down and look at their shoes and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can go down to our kids and go down and look at our shoes and see we had the most name brand, because we care about what we look like more than what we care about on the inside.
Because that's culture. In education.
I think a lot of this stuff, the reason we fall behind is because we so much invested in the culture than we invested in goddamn actually getting ahead. And we invested in getting ahead.
We invested in the look of the culture and not the essence and the foundations of the culture.
What is the separation? How can you at this point? How can you separate the two?
The look of the culture is a facade. The essence.
We rather look rich. We rather look rich than be rich. I mean, like you said, we'll spend $200 on shoes, $300 on jeans, and all that stuff. We'll spend a whole tax refund. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is their households already have more than us, like just statistically. But the little bit that we do have, we give it right back to them because we buying their products, their materials. And it's like you were just saying, we're not recycling our own dollars into our own communities. So that really goes with priorities. Like you said, cultivate, that goes with priorities, man. So if our priorities is looking I look like I got more money than the person sitting next to me in the desk, then my whole mentality is going to be like, hey, I got to do better than this guy. It's going to start from, hey, I got to have better shoes and better shirts and better clothes to, oh, now I got to have a better car. Oh, now I got to have a better house. Or now you're not in my community. You're my competitor now.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't even.
J. Cole said.
Yeah, like you ain't even. I don't even see you as a brother. I see you, and my thing. That's one thing I say about my pops. He never played that name brand stuff, man. I was always the one that had on the off brand. What we call Bobos, where I'm from. Yeah, Bobo.
Yeah, but touched my foot till I was probably in middle school.
Right, but and then. Yeah, and I had to, and then what happens? They crack jokes on you for that, and again, it goes to our priorities, and it's the fact that in our communities we bullying you if you ain't got on name brand. I mean, that I don't know. I don't know if it's changed as much now. I'm just saying how it was when I was a kid. So it's so much. It's so much that need to be scrapped and redone, to be honest with you, from the ground up.
It starts at home, but with us, we have to be. I put it like this: we're always crying about the government and the system, saying, "Why won't y'all invest in us? Why won't y'all invest in our education? Why won't y'all invest in this? Why won't y'all give us money for that?" Right? You know what that sounds like? If Gary right here come to me and say, "Hey, bro, I got this business idea, right? All I need is about $10,000 from you, and I'm gonna make this thing right." And I'm gonna say, "Well, how much it costs?" "Oh, it costs $10,000." I'm like, wait a minute. If it costs $10,000 and I'm giving $10,000, what you investing? "Oh no, I ain't gonna invest nothing. But I'm telling you, is that a smart? Like, would you do that?" No, you're not gonna invest in somebody else's idea so they can benefit from it first, and they're not investing in it. If we don't take our education serious, if we're not actively investing money into our communities, helping buy books, when somebody died, they posted GoFundMe and whatever. Everybody want to give money. Why can't we go fund the education? When Woodlawn was up, I think it was Woodlawn up there, didn't have no band uniforms or whatnot. If it wasn't Woodlawn, I'm sorry. I remember it was a high school a couple of years back. They didn't have no band uniforms. Why can't the community fund that? Why can't we come together and buy more books? Why can't we come together and paint the schools or teach the kids or say, hey, this curriculum is not going to cut it. Quit teaching our kids this bull. Quit teaching our kids these dummy lectures. When I was in high school, I took a class called Family, Home, and Consumer Sciences. And then they made me take another class about housing and interior decorating. I mean, it's great. When I had an apartment, I had excellent paint palettes and blinds, but I was broke as hell. I didn't know what to do with my money, and my furniture was nice. I had nice rugs, but I mean, budget-wise, financially, debt-wise,
right.
I had skills that were useless. So how do we get back to that in our parents? And the reason I say the parents, I feel like aside from the money issue, that's a different issue. If teachers start seeing the parents get involved and care more, I think seeing how much the parents care and participate and show up and donate would overshadow what they feel about the money. But when you're again underpaid and under supported, so it's just you with your lack of funding, with these kids, with their lack of parental involvement. What there's a problem. Teachers are put on the island. No funding, no support. What are they gonna do? No funding, no support, and what they are forced to teach ain't working. So, Xavier, how do you feel about that?
By what exactly?
Let's just go with teachers, lack of parental involvement.
Oh man. Yeah, the teachers. I do feel like that the number one. I feel like maybe the teachers are overwhelmed. It's a lot of I guess the expectation for them to take on more than they can bear. I mean, heck, you got these teachers that are not on that are having to defend themselves from our from students. You got students that's fighting because it's such a poor parenting job at home. So I think it's a mix of the teachers maybe being overwhelmed, plus the teachers maybe not even caring enough about their job. And then what I think is really well, I feel like the root of all this, if we say it goes to the parenting, and I was listening to you talk, I think the root of all this is in our community. You got too many parents that don't like each other. So if mom and
that's
dad,
a dumb reason not to go to a PTO meeting, but yeah.
Hold on. If I don't care about this person I made a kid with, how much do I really care about this kid? I mean, I'm just saying that's why you got some that are absentee or they are just not involved. And I feel
those two parents, the ones that made the kid.
I'm just saying if the parents cared more about each other, they probably would be more involved with what's going on with the kids. But I mean, it again still go with the parenting. But that's a bigger community issue. But that's my take.
All right, what about you, Gary?
Talking about teachers when it comes to teachers.
Yeah.
For one, I'm gonna say this right here: they underpaid. They underpaid in the mud. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be one of the biggest things it is. They underpaid. Other thing is, I think everybody should have a goal list. If you're a teacher, I think every teacher should have a goal for each individual student or for their students at all. Period. And if all the students or whatever hit the goals, I think you should be able to reward the teachers with a little bonus or something. I think that'll help all the teachers, come together and be like, hey, I'm gonna challenge all my students and myself to be better.
Let me excuse him real quick.
I
don't know what happened to him. No, I get that.
Probably got a phone call.
Yeah, I get that completely, man. With the teachers, aside from being underpaid, I do think that they need to be paid more. I'm gonna be real with you. This is another subject for another day. I'm gonna throw it out there anyway. I actually think that there should be a minimum wage for degrees, regardless of what your degree is. I'm just being honest, and teachers is one of them. There's no way that a teacher that has a degree should be making the same amount as someone that doesn't have a degree working in this field or whatever else. I mean, that's just unless they've been in that field for a while, but not on the entry level. Like for what teachers make, having gone through college and graduate school, right? At one point, I think starting off, it was what, 48,000 something a year, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I can go to other jobs right now that require no degree and make that amount and more. As a matter of fact, at my last job, I was making $34 an hour with nobody's degree, nobody's education, making $34 an hour, hitting 90, 100,000 a year, and I wasn't teaching nobody kids.
Right.
I went to college for a year just to enjoy the experience, and then I left, and I forged my own path. So for people that went to college and they have this focus and they put in the time and they're in debt, and they went to graduate school and studied and took the test and get certified, for you to go through all of that and come out and be right here with somebody else, all right, I think that's a slap in the face, especially when you not only have to deal with kids, but you're dealing with the kids who have the parents that make the same or more than you with none of the education, and it shows when you talk to them. It shows. You finna hit the club, bro?
Yeah.
You thought I noticed?
Yeah, man. Yeah, club playing quick.
Yeah, man. Like Batman came back.
Oh, he just did it so smooth. He just popped back in with a shirt. Nah, but I think it's a slap in the face for those teachers, man.
Yeah.
When you go through all that schooling and all that debt, and now you're dealing with these kids and parents who don't care, because I'm gonna be honest with you, parents who don't care what a teacher makes, and it's hard to talk to a lot of parents when they do make more than the teachers or whatever else, it's hard to connect with them because you don't get paid enough to command their respect. It's like in the NFL when coaches say they have a problem relating to players and adults that make more than them. You got teachers out here that went through all this schooling, and we can see that it doesn't matter. We can see that it doesn't matter. Why should I respect it? Like, I hate to say it like that. I respect teachers, but I feel like a lot of people, parents, don't respect the teachers. They don't respect the job and what it requires. It's crazy. A lot of parents don't even want to be with their own kids for 8 hours. And it shows because when school is out, they be like, dang, we both off? On my off day, you out of school? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you don't even want to deal with your kids for 8 hours, but you want somebody else to deal with it. How is that not an issue? How are we going to fix it? How are we going to bridge the gap between parents and teachers, and then maybe be able to focus on the curriculum and important things like that? Look at Gary over there. He about to crack a smile.
Nah.
No, but for real, it's something I see more and more teachers talking about. And we can talk about the curriculum and they can fix all that. But if we don't get more support and we don't get the funding, we won't have anybody to teach this new curriculum. You know? So what are the steps or the processes that you think that we could take just briefly as far as getting that funding or those resources for those teachers to help them? I ain't gonna say care more, but come on now, we got jobs. Whenever I felt like I was being underpaid or I wasn't being valued, I felt the way about doing the work. Nothing personal to them, but it's just, I felt the way.
So you're saying, what can we do?
Yeah, what can we do? What can the parents do? How can we show the teachers that we support them, or how can we champion getting them more money?
Shoot.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Let's turn those public schools into what schools is? What other schools?
Private schools or charter schools?
Let's turn public schools to private schools. Let's pay for them.
Shoot. Well,
Like
I think.
No, go ahead, Xavier. You think what?
Shoot, I think in Alabama we need to go ahead and pass a lottery bill, and we do have a lottery, and more money goes towards education, and I think the first thing to do is to place a bigger price tag on teachers and pay them what their value is to society. If their society is to cultivate or educate tomorrow's leaders, we need to invest more into them. So I mean, that's the only way they're gonna get more funding is through taxation, for the most part. And why not? Let's have a lottery, But Alabama, we so far behind, Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I feel I like that idea. I like that idea too. But we both know if Alabama get a lottery, they're gonna put more money into the prison system than the educational system. That's just
Well,
how it's gonna go.
Alabama is a prison state. That's the thing.
Right.
These systems is designed. They rather have more prisoners than scholars, And I was going to say that was one of the things of having part of the systematic, I'd say, systematic discrepancies where you got in certain like classes. You got certain people where the education system don't benefit you much to where when you get out of school, you're in debt. But the ones that's in lower income, when the education system failed them, they don't get a diploma. So what happens to them? They become criminals. So
Exactly.
and
Who else become criminals?
Say what?
Who else become criminals? The ones that do make it to a certain level, but they lack financial literacy, and then they fall into ruins. And the more they fall into ruins, they turn to crime and other things because they're trying to get out of debt or take shortcuts, and then they fall
Hey,
into.
hey, we got to fill up these prisons some kind of way, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
or we can break down the wall. Yeah, we fill them with politicians. Yeah, that's another story for another day. But
yeah,
no, it's one of them things, man. As we approach the time limit for now, we touched on a lot of topics, and we got our work cut out for us because I don't want to just talk about what's the problem. What's the problem? We need to find solutions.
Mhm.
So when we break this huddle, we need not only find solutions, but we need to get out in the community, talk to parents, talk to teachers. We do want to get teachers to come over here and talk to us. And we do want to get parents to come on and talk to us. All right. You can come on the show. We're more than willing to talk to you. We want to hear from you. Tell your side. This is a community effort. You got 3 hosts right here, but it's a community effort. And we all got to get involved. So anybody that want to be a part of it, you can hit us up. You can talk to us. You can come on the show. And we're going to make this thing happen. So final thoughts going around the table. Going to start with Xavier. As far as education goes, teachers, parenting, if you had to pick one, where do we start in fixing this problem?
uh, I think it starts with parenting first. Got to start with parenting, and then trickle down or trickle up rather
Yep.
to parenting, to children, to the kids to the teachers. So start with parenting, and like I said, we have kids with people that we like better than. I think we'll do a better job. I mean, that shouldn't be an excuse, but if you made a kid, you have a responsibility to set that kid up for success as a parent. So that's what I think it starts.
All right. What about you, Gary?
I'll say this. I'm gonna go back to what he said, parenting, right? But I'm
Right.
gonna say I'm gonna put this on there. Let's go with parenting classes. So the big issue is we all out here having kids and don't know what to do with them. So
Right.
my whole thing is, hey, issue something that can sit here and say, hey, you're gonna take this parenting class. You know what I'm saying? If you don't take this parenting class, just same way they do the insurance. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have insurance. If you ain't got this insurance, you gotta pay this fine, whatever. All right, well, if you ain't taking this parenting class, all right, well, hey, you gotta pay this fine then. Ain't nobody gonna keep wanting to pay this fine. Let me take this parenting class. At least I know how to do certain things, even if I choose not to. At least I know how. You get what I'm saying? A lot of people don't even know how, so they're not exposed to it, so they're not gonna get their best foot forward. But at least if you give them a parenting class, and at least you know what I'm saying, give your child a chance to do certain things, that'll change a lot of things. Because like you said, start at home. Giddy, man, you finna have a baby, man, you gotta have your classes. You gotta have your classes.
My final thought is to all the parents out there, respect the teachers. Let's break down the day. If your child sleeps for 8 hours, they go to school for 8 hours. They're only at home for 8 hours. But let's be real. A lot of times, by the time kids get out of school to get home, parents not off work. And then when you get home, you got to work on other things. So you can't even give that child your full undivided attention when they get out of school to get home. Your teachers, your child's teachers' responsibility is to give your children their undivided attention for 8 hours a day, which is more undivided attention than you can give them in an 8 hour work week day. So you got to support them. You got to help them because during the school year, during the school week, they're more hands on, more involved, and have more of an impact on your child's future, education, and understanding than you do. So before I leave, I want y'all to look me right here, right here. We got to support the teachers. We got to support the school system. We got to make a difference. We got to change it. This has been BKO. You in the know?